Hi, it's Penny again.
And Angela, hello everyone.
Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a great month. And today, as you can see, we are talking
Blue.
And it's Monday. So you're having a blue Monday or you're having an awesome Monday? It's quite early in the morning here, so ours is going to be awesome. We're going to set that intent. So, blue. If you just think of the color blue and just look at the blue sky and just how beautiful it is and how expansive it is, and I know that if I'm just sitting outside and just daydreaming and looking at the sky and looking at the clouds, it automatically just starts relaxing and chilling me.
Yeah. And it's something I've always thought about with Joburg, and especially Joburg winters at this time of year.
Yeah.
The blue of the sky is just insane.
Yeah.
And I think with the energy that Joburg has can be obviously a little, I don't know if chaotic's the right word, but we have the best winters, and we have this beautiful, beautiful blue sky to enjoy most days in winter. Yeah.
So unlike the UK, where their winters are quite miserable because it rains a lot and it's overcast a lot, we hardly ever get rain in winter here. So we have these amazing, gorgeous blue skies with the nip in the air. So our winters are actually usually pretty pleasant.
It's one of my favorite times of year, actually.
So we're going to talk all things blue today. So how blue are you? So the different colors relate to the different chakras in the body. So we've been through pink and green, which are both heart chakra things. Blue is the throat. So whenever somebody's choosing colors, or when I'm teaching the color therapy, the magic of color workshop, and I'm sure you do the same because we both teach it, is the first question I ask somebody is, do you get a lot of sore throats or stiff necks? And if they say yes, that immediately tells them tells me that they have an imbalance in the throat chakra.
Yeah.
And what that means is that their personality type is somebody that likes to keep the peace no matter what. So when somebody does something nasty or rocks their boat or whatever, they'll swallow it back rather than say something, so that they're just not having an argument around them. But the sore throat and the stiff neck is actually telling you that you're doing something that's kind of, your body is taking strain with it.
Right.
So it's the way your body speaks to you to say, maybe you should look at correcting this. And I know for me, because that's been something that's a lesson for me most of my life. I always just want to keep the peace. I just had my Enneagram done too, and I'm in number 9, which is the peacekeeper.
And like no surprises there.
No surprises there until I get really pushed, and then we can change you to one of the other numbers. But the sore throats and the thyroid imbalance and the stiff necks and the glands were
and the
constantly,
jaw,
the tight jaw, the grinding
of the jaw.
Yeah, that's all a blue thing.
Yeah.
So when you use the blue oil, it helps to open the throat chakra and helps you to speak your truth. So when I tell somebody that who's the peacekeeper, they'll go, oh, no, I don't want that.
Right, because that's the last thing.
How much drama is that going to create in our lives?
Yeah.
But the issue is that it will be calm, gentle, quiet communications. If you use the red, then whatever you're bottling may just explode and you tell everybody to head for the hills and hide. But the blue does it quietly and softly and gently. Yeah.
You know, I always say you think of it as like water. You know, it's very, very cooling and very, very soothing.
Exactly.
And that's the beauty about the blue.
Yeah. And when you mention the water thing, it's about going with the flow too, rather than resisting and controlling, because that's another thing that could be the blue and the indigo personality is needing everything to be in its right box and controlling too much. So if you can just let go, how awesome is that? And what I love about this blue oil is that I call this the physical rescue color. And this is a topical rescue, not like the rescue remedy that you internalize. This you would put on the outside. And I've had some amazing experiences with it. And I know you have too.
Yeah.
So let's hear about your story.
I always laugh at the story because people think I did it on purpose to sell blue oil. And I'm like, I really don't go that far.
However,
I had a course and I was getting something out the oven. I put some food in the oven and I don't know what I was thinking. And obviously my head was in the clouds. And I literally took my hands, put it in the oven with no oven gloves on the hot tray, pulled it out, and both my hands were burnt. And I've never been in so much pain. So I ran them underwater because this is oil. So, run it underwater first. And then I went straight away. I ran through. Everybody was sitting in the classroom, ran through, grabbed my blue oil, put it on my hands. And it was a weekend class. So they were coming back on the Sunday. And when they arrived back on the Sunday, I showed them my hands and they said, that is insane. There wasn't a blister, it wasn't even red. It was like it never happened. And that is the power of this. I mean, even if it hadn't been my entire hand, there would have been some sort of, blister or something.
I tend to burn myself in the oven quite often. I don't know why. I think because my mother always used to say, if you burn yourself, the food's going to be really good. So let's dissolve and uncreate that belief system so I don't have to keep doing it, just to prove that I can cook. Or maybe it's because I don't cook often, so you forget. But I have burnt myself many times as well. And please, what Angela was saying is you need to put it under cold water or ice on it, because if you put an oil on something that's cooking, it will continue cooking. So you cool it down first straight away. And when you put the oil on the next day, there's nothing.
I did sell a lot of blue oil that day.
Cool. So it worked. So it's interesting because the very first course in color therapy that I ever did was with a guy from overseas. And at the time, they had about 110 bottles of different colors. And I had signed up for this course and ordered the whole gedunte, the whole entire range, and was really excited about this. And then I started doubting because I thought, is there truth in this? Because actually that 6-day course that I was on, I could have used every single one of those colors because there was something in each one that triggered something for me. So is this a con or how does this work? So I always ask for clear signs in my life to show me that when I'm on the right path. So what did I do? I fell down 3 little stairs at my front door and pulled a ligament in my ankle. And it was so excruciating that I couldn't stand up for about 10 minutes. I was in agony. Eventually I got up and I hobbled up the passage and I put this blue oil on and hobbled around the whole day. And I was leaving the next day to go down to Durban to do level 2 of the same training and to collect all my stock that I had ordered. So as I went to bed that night and I thought, I don't know if I should do this because this is supposed to be a painkiller and the pain is still there. And by the time I went to bed that night, my ankle was as big as my knee. It was black and blue and throbbing. So I thought, look, I'm just going to sleep on this and I'll decide tomorrow morning where I'm going to go with this. And I went to sleep and the next morning I got halfway down the passage when I went, oh, my ankle, it had gone. There was no swelling, there was no bruising. It was like it had never happened. And that was me in with 200%.
Right,
because I knew that there is definitely something in this and how amazing they are. So whether you have a pulled muscle, whether you have surgery, if you have surgery or if you have a burn or a pain somewhere, the color of that is usually red, isn't it? Because it's inflamed.
And that's what I was going to say. Anything that's red, think about anything that's red and hot.
Yeah, it's inflamed. Yeah. So when you use this onto that, what it does is it cools it down and speeds up the healing process. So I had 2 little old ladies in Pretoria that were both using the oils for their arthritis. And the one swore by the blue and her sister swore by the red. And that was so interesting because they're so different. Yeah. But the one needed to calm down and to calm the inflammation. And the other lady was obviously much more volatile and there was a lot of explosive energy and anger and frustration. And she preferred the color that resonated with her. And they both got benefit from it. So it's also so interesting because we say that a color is linked to a particular part of the body. But if you get a sense to use it on your big toe or the tip of your nose, do that. I know that when my hair is taking strain, if it gets very dry and very wiry, then I'll put whatever color I'm using. It doesn't matter what color. Put a little bit on my hands and then just squeeze it into the ends of my hair the night before and sleep with it that night. And then the next day, my hair feels just really soft and more manageable and not so wiry. So yeah, play with these. And the best thing with this is if you have children that I used to call 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon feeding time at the zoo. Sorry. Because you're coming home from work, you're exhausted, you've got to do dinner, they're whiny and cryy and they want attention and they've got homework to do and it's a really hard time in the day. So I used to put both my kids in the bath, like 5:30 at night, and I'd squirt about 5 or 6 drops of the squirt pumps of this in the bath and let them just spend whatever time in their bath, washing and playing and whatever. It would calm everybody down. They would be calm, I would be calm, the whole house would just slow down and be more manageable. So I say that this, together with my pink spray, is what I call my magic combination. Because what it does is the pink brings in love and compassion, and the feminine, loving, compassionate, holding energy. And the blue is the strength of the father, whether he's absent or not. In fact, if he's absent, that's really
Even
required.
better. Yeah.
And it's the supportive energies that holds the loving energy. So those two together are just phenomenal. So my kids used to have this in their bath, this sprayed on them at night when we were telling stories, and the two just used to center them and create a really lovely, beautiful, safe space for them.
And Archangel Michael, so in the angelic range of the blue, I often recommend for kids as well who have battle sleeping, scared at night, because it brings in the protection of Archangel Michael.
Yeah. So that's the angelic version of the blue. So each color has an angelic counterpart, and it has a candle, which I didn't show you in the others before. But the candle, this is the Michael candle. So when you're lighting that too, you're just inviting his presence into the space. And if you use the oil and have the candle at the same time, that's anchoring his supportive energy in your body and creating a protective, beautiful space, whether it's your office or your home, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I hope you've enjoyed our little blue story. And what's gorgeous about the blue is it helps with communication. And it's one-on-one communication. So it's counseling, or it's HR, or it's not a teaching communication where you're talking to many. That would be the turquoise color, and we'll touch on that one of these days. But the blue would be how you speak to your children, your partner, your colleagues, and makes you more comfortable with that rather than hiding.
Yeah.
So enjoy playing with some blue for the next few days or weeks, or however long you choose. And thanks for taking time to listen to us. Take care, everybody.
See you next time.
Take care.
Bye.